Welcome to Conscious Resistance. You are listening to Orion Talk Radio. My name is Derek Burrows. Today is Sunday, January 6, 2013. Yesterday, I had a moment of anger, you could say, where I chose to express my opinion in a way that maybe wasn't the most respectful manner, and I chose to do this through Facebook, which is kind of funny, throwing your thoughts out into the Facebook universe and seeing how people respond to that. And the response that I got based on this post of mine, it brought out some ideas that I decided to put onto the website. I wrote an article about it this morning. It's at theconsciousresistance.com. And I want to talk about that a little bit before we get into the news and also talking with our guests. So what was my post? What was I posting about? I posted saying that I believe smoking cigarettes was, bad, gross, and I did say that it made you weak, and I apologize for saying that because I'm an avid marijuana smoker, and some may believe that that makes me weak. But each to his own. What I was merely doing, though, is expressing my opinion that I do not like cigarette smoking. I really don't enjoy it at all. Being around people, it kind of makes me angry in some ways. And also knowing that cigarettes that people smoke, that tobacco is not pure in any way. Many shamans use tobacco in their practices. It's also been shown to have slight hallucinogenic properties. So, tobacco can be a great thing, but what most of us are smoking, or those of you who are smoking cigarettes, is, not pure, unadulterated tobacco. It's filled with many chemicals, rat poison, and all that, yada, yada, yada. But that's still my opinion, right? And my opinion is my opinion. But when gauging the response and seeing the way people reacted to this, which was essentially, there was some comments and people saying that, they, most of the time they support me, but they don't really stand with me on this thought, and as if I should have kept it to myself. And at first, I really let it get to me, but the more I thought about it, the more I really started to reflect. I thought about a phrase that Adam Kokesh, who you guys know that I worked with for a month, often uses and has even put on his merchandise, the phrase, being offended is effing bullshit. Yeah, I'm censoring myself because I'm hoping to get on FM radio. So if you're wondering what that's about. But yeah, so is being offended really bullshit? I started to think to myself, is there nothing sacred in this world? I personally value Buddhist texts and shamanic teachings, passed down from generation to generation, things like that. But maybe to somebody else, they think it's all a joke and they really have no interest. And the same thing with maybe Christian values or your Republican beliefs or your ideas of government or whatever it is. Whatever you believe, there's someone out there in the world that thinks it's a joke and maybe, gets off to making fun of it. That's fine. We shouldn't. I don't seek to limit anyone's speech, including my own. And also by making my statement, stating my opinion on cigarettes, I wasn't calling for any type of government regulation or saying that people who smoke cigarettes should be, banned from society or killed or anything crazy like that. It was just my opinion. But what I find interesting is that people would rather you say the nice things and stay within another model, another grid that we create for ourselves and play nice, And I've seen some people do this, some activists and others who once activism and the idea of getting the message out of liberty, of freedom, getting people to question the government, question authority so they can live for themselves. When you start to do this in a way that becomes more full-time, like radio show or videos or podcasts and all these things, well then after a while it starts to become like a job and a business. And sometimes I think people lose sight and they're more concerned with getting more viewers or making sure the subscribers like this message and this and that. And I never got into this, became an activist because I gave a damn about any of that. Did I ever think I would be on the radio talking to anybody? No, I didn't. I just grabbed a camera and went and did something. And I was thinking about that, So when I put into perspective, I realized that I don't want to limit myself for fear of losing Facebook friends or subscribers or YouTube subscribers or, getting angry tweets or whatever. I got into this because I want to wake people up and because I want to overthrow this government and make the very notion of needing a government irrelevant in our lives. I didn't get into this to become a celebritarian, as my friend Danny Pinzella calls some people who choose to live that way. That's fine. That's them. You know, all I'm concerned about and what voluntarism is about is taking care of your own self, providing society with one improved unit, so to speak, is one of the ways I've heard it said. One improved unit. So you take care of yourself, and as long as we all do that and promote this, society will be taken care of. And it comes from a Gandhi quote, you know, we can lead the way by taking care of ourselves. So is being offended really bullshit? I don't know. I think every individual has their own subjective, conscious experience that they can decide how to live and how to react and what to let offend them and what not to. We all have our own opinions, and we also still have some remainder of freedom of speech in this country and in this world. And we should encourage that. Just this past weekend, I was able to take part in a conversation with Democrats, Socialists, Green Party, Libertarian, Anarchists, just a whole group of people from a range of opinions. About 20 people came to my house and sat down and had conversation trying to figure out where we disagreed, where we agreed. And it was a couple hours long, and it was a very powerful experience. Those are the kinds of things that are going to change the world and lead us into a more positive direction. We have to break down these barriers, and we have to be honest. We're not doing anybody any favors by lying to each other and by being politically correct and BSing each other all the time. We're not going to get anywhere. We have to be honest with ourselves about who we are and the things that we feel, and even if those feelings and those ideas and opinions you have may piss other people off, we have to be real with each other. So be offended all you want, but I would say self-censorship is bullshit, if anything is bullshit. And I'm not going to censor myself out of fear of losing Facebook friends or anything like that. I have a mission, and that is to try to change the world, or at least my immediate community, and I'm going to contribute to that as long as I can, and also take steps to continue to better myself, which is something I want to focus even more on, and I think we all should. If we take care of ourselves and focus on ourselves, we'd all be a lot better off.
The change that we must embrace is not a simple change of political structure or economic policy, but rather a complete revolution of consciousness and awareness within the human mind.
We are witnessing the fall of the republic as tyrants try to make us all the subjects. They buy up newspapers, TVs, and magazines as they try to implement a fascist regime. Corporations have been enthroned in the U.S., so all major media outlets are now useless. They steady discredit a reliable source as they recite a one-sided report. To keep you scared, they steadily remind you of terrorist attacks and a deadly swine.